and welcome to episode 200
we made
of the
it.
Talking Wednesday podcast. Now, you might be expecting to see us in person in one of these episodes, but we don't like each other enough anymore, so we're not doing that this year. Basically, no, we had a plan. Jake set fire to the plan, and the plan would be on fire anyway because it decided to snow and Jack's ill.
You wouldn't have been able to get to me.
I drove past yours yesterday.
Actually, you would. Jack wouldn't. Jack car would definitely get stuck.
I'm going to say I was coming back from So's family and I drove over the back. I'm not going to obviously give out where you live, but you know the big road down the back up high? I drove over that. I drove that way.
You should have pulled over and had a coffee, mate.
No, because I was staying on the main roads. It was very bad. It was very bad.
You probably would have got stuck. It's been a nightmare up here. The only person who's liked it is my little one, and she's loved it. And I'm like, I hate this. This is my version of hell.
No, well, obviously I'm back to work and stuff. I know your kids been off snow day today, haven't they?
Yeah, they had a snow day today. And originally everything on my side was a bit messed up and for good reason, and it's nothing that can be helped. But thankfully that's all sorted now. Just had family member in hospital and they're fine now. It's a difficult one at the minute because I've got a lot of family members who are ill at the minute, but then you put on my stuff and stuff like that, so it doesn't help. But how was your Christmas, mate?
It was nice. Yeah, I always forget, like, when you get to a Christmas break, it doesn't really feel like a break because I'm now back at work and I've not stopped.
Yeah.
So it's like I've been traveling up and down, and but it's been nice. It's been good to see people, be back around, all the usual Christmas stuff. We had my mate up here over the actual New Year's, which was nice. Came for a few days, planning stuff for this year. Big birthday milestones, so looking at trips and things like that. More friends getting married. Going to try and slim down to fit in suits. All of that.
More people asking you when you're putting a ring on Sophie's finger?
And not specifically. Not been asked. We have had a few more engaged. One of my other good friends has just got engaged, and I'm like, I think we're literally the last ones now. We just need more friends.
Yeah.
We're just children. I'm a child with a big birthday coming up.
You have got the big one, haven't you?
Yeah. So we've been looking at that.
I would say everything breaks after that one, but I know you. It already started early.
It's already broken, mate. Like, that's the thing. I'm going to try this year, and it's not a new year, new me crap. It's the fact that because I've got to go to weddings and stuff, I'm going to actually try and get healthier than I was last year, this year. Because I feel like it's kind of one of the last chances to shed quite a lot of weight.
It is.
Relatively easily.
Easy. Once you get past your milestone, it's so hard.
Yeah.
I think I got to 35 and was still able to do it, and then I hit 35, like, I can't do this anymore.
Well, no, I've just had to sort of be, for me, it's always been portioning. I like food, all right? Food's enjoyable. And I just eat a lot of food. So it's a case of...
I remember when my PT showed me what I had to eat, and I was like, that looks not fun.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if I had the time to do the length of cardio, then I could eat all I want, but I don't. So it's a case of I need to reduce. I've made a decision. I'm not going to eat, just completely throw things up and eat like stuff I'm not a massive fan of. I'm just going to eat less of what I do like. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep it within the right calorie parameters, make sure I've got stuff with enough protein in it, but actually cook stuff that you would look at and go, that's a little bit, but instead of having 3 of them, I'll have 1 of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, all about that sort of thing. It's going to suck, but I want to be able to fit into my suits again and not just buy another suit because I've already got many. You all right?
Yeah, my channel has blown up with Brazilians over the last couple of days. And
is that allowed on YouTube?
Might be a TOS. But yeah, we'll get into that story later.
Yeah. So you're basically just getting abused in another language.
Yeah. You know what? 2025, having Brazilians abusing me in Portuguese wasn't on my bingo card. I'm not going to lie. That was one that was well out of out of it.
Lol.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is episode 200. Thank you for supporting us this far. We have.
Yep.
Jake says we delayed it. I've actually decided we've cancelled the in-person episode because I do not have time now. But
March will be the closest time we'll do it.
We'll probably do an end of season review. I don't even think March, mate. Because the plans for the big birthday were possibly happening in March. So.
Oh right, fair enough.
Yeah. But we'll sort something. We'll sort something. Episode 250 is obviously the big one that you look at because 250 is like, that's if we get there. And I'm saying if now, because you've been all right git this year.
I don't do Christmas. You both know this. You both know at Christmas time, I'm grumpy. I'm a grumpy old man.
Jake comes across as this really nice person, and he is, until you know him.
I'm lovely up until I get my button pushed. And
until you're in a mood, though, and the people that are close to you actually try and talk to you.
Try being my missus.
No, thank you.
I think the problem is I put so much pride into doing the channel because it's such a big part of what I do. Yeah. I'm not very good. I'm good at taking criticism, but I'm not good at taking idiots because I struggle with that. And the thing is, it's something I'm learning to try and do a bit better. But if you do it in December to me, I will rip your heads off because I've got 2 birthdays and Christmas and I hate Christmas. Like, I'll say the biggest thing,
Christmas. Jay, is you and Jack are very similar like this. And I guess I used to be a little bit like it, but it's more water off duck's back now. If we talk, right, and I'm somebody you know, but if we talk and I disagree with you on something, you can get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
In a disagreement tone. If I sometimes send you a message that's disagreeing with you.
This is the thing. If you talk to me,
it gets you back up. Fine. So if you do it in YouTube comments, that's even worse.
If you do it in a message, because of my dyslexia, I don't know what's coming across as an attack or what's actually serious, like playful. I can't separate the two. If you talk to me or you voice note me, I'm fine. But if you do it in a message, I don't know which way to take it. And it's a problem, especially with comment section, like you said. And it's something I'm trying to learn a lot more this year, not to take everything at face value in a comment section and just walk away when I can. My annoyance thing is that sometimes you can't just walk away from it because YouTube will just keep it there when you open up your studio to check things. And if it's still there, you're like, it's that urge to like bite, and I'm trying not to bite, and I don't mean to bite at people, and I bit very badly at you in the Discord thing. And when I wasn't going to say, you said it. When I read it back, I looked at it. It took me like a couple of days to go back and look at it. I went, I was I can't say the word, but I wasn't very nice, and I should have got punched in the face.
Keyboard warrior. Saying it about your commenters. But no, it was a case of, oh my God, he's drinking relentless. It's 10-3. How have you? I can tell you've got a snow day with a child there at the minute.
I've been up
I love that. But that's like one of my favourite drinks, but I can't drink it anymore. I actually like it. It would send me through the floor.
I'm allowed to drink this, the one that I'm not allowed to drink. And the problem is I can't remember what it is. And my doctor, I'm not allowed to drink that one. This one I'm allowed to. The problem is, mate, if I don't have caffeine in my system, I don't function. Like with all the seizures, it's something that gives me a pick me back up to get going again. And today's just not been the day. I don't like snow.
What did you do at Christmas anyway?
I went to minor injuries on Boxing Day.
Again?
Christmas Eve, Allah went, hold him. So I took Hunter like you do. And he flailed his arm and he managed to scratch across my pupil.
Oh!
Yep. He Yep, he managed to scratch across my pupil and underneath. I thought originally he had scratched under my eyelid because it felt like there was something stuck there. No, he did that. And I was Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. We had a good one on our own and stuff, but it got to Boxing Day and it wasn't getting any better. And I'm like, I'm going to minor injuries. I can't do this. Taxi there, taxi back. I was so lucky at minor injuries though. I got in at 10:30, 3 people in. As I was leaving, 8 to 10 people walked in. I was like, oh, I got really lucky. Got home. I had to do like eye medicine stuff to fix it. Took 5 days. It's fine. I can see now. It's not a blurry, but it hurt. It properly hurt.
I winced because I put contact lenses in, right?
Yeah.
So I know the things about eyes, and I just no, absolutely not. I'm sure that made a lot of listeners' skins crawl as well.
As I last said, I don't know how you didn't drop him with how painful it looked. Because I literally he would have bounced, got back up, got a building block, threw it in the other eye. He's vicious.
Yeah.
He's he's vicious. He can get his sister in a headlock. He's only one. He's the
take
one
the
that
kids out of Doncaster.
He wasn't even born in Doncaster.
No, hereditary.
But the thing is, it was a good Christmas. It's the first one we've had on our own at our place and not had to go anywhere. I still technically got to do a Christmas with my lot. We haven't seen my lot yet. But last year we did it in January and it was such an easier thing than having to rush all over the place.
We just did that yesterday. I got back that's why I was driving back in the snow because we did a second Christmas because some of Soph's family were away for Christmas. So they did a second Christmas at theirs. That's probably why I don't feel like I haven't stopped as well because I got back after New Year, went and did that Christmas that weekend, and it's like, whoa, so much social. Because usually after you've had like a Christmas, you get a few days to just
do nothing.
Apart from when I worked in hospitality, so I am sending love and thoughts to the people.
Anyone who's done situation. Retail or hospitality, my thoughts are with you.
Yeah,
I
think I will say from somebody who's worked in both. Hospitality is worse. If you're a personality like mine, where I'm like, I really don't want to be here.
Yeah. And it probably,
and everybody, and there is a bit of kind, but I worked in a hotel for a while, as I've said before. When you get around Christmas, obviously people are paying for a Christmas experience. That also does bring out the worst people because they want everything to be perfect. So they will treat people like crap.
I have worked in kitchens on Christmas Day and they are not the most funny places to be because you will get some random Karen try and get herself back there to complain and say, I could have done this better. And 9 times out of 10, the head chef would go, so why aren't you?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not a fun time. I've done too many Christmas days in a kitchen and going, the best thing is when you get to Boxing Day, because normally if you do a Christmas Day, you get Boxing Day off. And 9 times out of 10, you don't do nothing. You will go to a family event. They will look at you, feed you, give you alcohol and put you in a corner to sleep. That's how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I didn't do Eve, did I? Did I do Eve? I did either Eve or Boxing Day, but I didn't work Christmas Day because we had somebody in that job. We had somebody who was Spanish and they celebrate on Eve. No, that was it. I had day and Boxing Day off, which was quite nice. But Christmas Eve was interesting. I don't miss it. I knew I needed to get. I think for some people it's great, and I knew people in that job that enjoy that kind of work. I think it's each to their own. But me, can't stand dealing with people in that, and I can't stand rude, and I can't stand entitlement. And in those sort of jobs, you see all of that.
Can you imagine this one then, James? I once got given front of the house for a day. I got told to get my butt back into the kitchen.
Yeah. I probably should have worked behind the scenes, but I was front and center, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Not what I applied for, but again, in that industry, actually, I was meant to be half and half. I was meant to be half behind the scenes, half up front. Guess who ended up
Also, some of you did really well on the quiz.
You what, sorry?
Some people did very well on the quiz. I was looking at some of the comment section. Well done.
Yeah, some people seem to enjoy the Christmas quiz. Well, quite a few people seem to enjoy the Christmas quiz. So thank you. I think I probably made it a bit too hard, but some people did quite well. So maybe not. Maybe you and Jack are just terrible.
Let's go with that.
Let's go with that one. But I thought it'd be a bit more fun. Like, I think every year now I will do a topical thing for the whole year. So the past year. Or maybe I won't say that actually, because otherwise you and Jack will be rehearsing the stats. You'll be looking at the stats over and over.
I look at the stats every week anyway, so it wasn't an issue. So when you said about who was the our top assist and top goal scorer, like 4 days later, I already did a video about it because I was talking about how well we're doing in that sense. So when you said it, I was like, I know the numbers of this. This is easy.
We should probably get into, and obviously, if you haven't seen it before we get into the regular part of the episode, we're going to talk about everything we've missed over most things that we've missed over the festive period. Please go and check out the January Transfer Talking Wednesday Extra, which I think quite a lot of you have actually. You can tell people were dying for content over.
I think that's done quite well actually. I was looking at that, like done decent.
It's done better than extras usually do, even when they go free. So, go and have a look at that. That's where me, Jake, and Jack sat down and gave 2 signing suggestions each. That's if we ever do sign a player, of course. We would have to. We'd have to do that first. But yeah, let's go into the games we missed. So we're going all the way back to the 21st of December. We're not going to really talk too much through it because we're not going to do the play-by-play on these ones. We will when we get a little bit closer. But it was Sheffield Wednesday 2, Stoke City 0. It was Windass and Patterson goals with a Deshaun Bernard red card in there as well.
Dumb red card.
You what, sorry?
It was a dumb red card.
It was a dumb red card. But again, I thought it was a decent performance from Wednesday. Good result. Showing, I was saying during the game, how much... we streamed this actually, didn't we? We streamed it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. How much Tom Cannon would... we kept him quiet, but how much he would be good in a side like ours.
Yep.
Like actually with service. I didn't think Stoke were a necessarily good side, but they've clearly got an owner that wants to spend. They're linked with everything money-wise. Everything. This is what's annoying me about Stoke at the minute. Everyone we should sign, they're in for.
Yeah, they are one of the richest teams in the Championship up there. And the thing is, they know football, and that's the thing which is our downfall at the minute. I think the thing is, it was another game where we got another manager sacked. It was like literally 2 games after this he went, and there were already people saying this could be his last game. Now, Stoke, for me now, have got the thing. Mark Robins in charge. They could be a completely different animal, and that's scary.
That's a really good appointment, actually.
It's a very good appointment.
We move on to Boxing Day. Did you get out of minor injuries in time to watch Middlesbrough 3, Sheffield Wednesday 3?
I did. I was watching it, and I was watching it at my mother-in-law
with one eye.
With one eye, with my Barnsley supporting sister-in-law and my brother-in-law, and they were going, "Oh, look at the score!" I was like, "It's only our time. When they'll do something." I'm so glad they did.
I was the same. I was round at So's families because we go around there on Boxing Day sometimes, and he went, "Oh, that's not good, is it, James?" And I was like,
I had similar, yeah. I will say something. It was nice to see Ingolson get off the score sheet.
Yep.
Windass having a very good period. Valerie again recently as well. I think the thing is, we've shown a lot in this period that we are currently playing as a mid-table side. Let's just call it what it is. Mid-table teams draw a lot of games because they haven't got the defensive quality there. And it's something you see every season. If we get a decent partnership at the back, and I think a lot of people will be shocked saying this, but a lot of people wrote him off before the season started. We miss Akin from Ayo so much. I know, grin of the century. Wasn't he your standout player for this season?
Player to watch.
He was.
Everyone thought I was mad.
Yep.
There's a I use the words. I'm not smug, by the way. I use the word. There's a player in there, and I think Danny can unlock it. Unfortunately, he's injured. But when he did play for us, and now we're talking about missing him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Preston game was annoying because the goals were preventable.
Yeah. We absolutely. I was going to say that 3-1, and I don't think Preston were that good.
I don't think they were that good.
And I thought I wasn't saying it's a robbery because it was stuff that, we should have done better. Windass again on the score sheet, but 3-1 didn't really reflect the game for me. I don't know about you, Jake.
No, I think we played a lot better and came away with something. It felt like one of those games where you come away going, we deserved all 3 points and didn't get it because we just couldn't finish enough, and B, defensive mistakes. Their first goal, you do not leave an open man. And the problem is, I think with this defense, they are so used to playing a system which is zonal marking, and Danny plays man marking, and people are just not picking the runs up, and it's so annoying. And I'm not sure if it was a penalty, but it doesn't matter now. They scored it. It was just knack refereeing, but it was a good goal by Windass, but again, showed his form again, but it was the one you look at it and then you start.
Here's the problem for me, and you can tell in the stats, Jake, if you look at, you don't even need to watch the game really, because unfortunately I was watching the game, but you don't really have to watch it to see how it went. Like, we had 60% of the possession. We had 17 shots
and only 3 on
to
target.
their 14, but only 3 of them were on target. And there lies our issue that we have probably been saying for the entire 200 episodes of this bloody podcast.
Yeah.
The clinical nature.
It's been the issue for ages. And the problem is you can only go so far with having to get the result where you come back into it. And Danny said that. And this is where we start getting to the point, and we'll speak about it later, where Danny's comments are starting to come out and it's worrying fans. You go to the Derby game, though, completely different game. Really played well. Absolutely bossed it. But we have to talk about that Josh Windass goal.
We do, because, right, this is another thing you snapped at me about when I made a joke in the Discord. There is a rule I did say player awards get 10 points, which is not going to help me catch Jack at all. But do you think Josh Windass could be on for a player award of goal of the season with that? Because for me, it is.
Yes, definitely. I reckon if he gets goal of the season and he gets a podcast award, you get the points.
Okay. Well, we get the points anyway, because I said awards, so I said individual awards, like highest clean sheet. I said this.
I wrote it down anyway. I watched the entire of these games and just went, my points are done.
I just kept watching it going, come on, Windass. Windass might drag me out, like, because he's, the way we're going to do it as well is, because with the steals involved, player of the season, say Windass gets player of the season and I've had him for the whole season, I don't lose him.
Yeah.
Then I get the full points. But say he got stolen from me towards the end, based on the percentage of the season, say you got him for 20% of the season, you'd get 20% of the points from the player of the season. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's
I think
how
the
it could
thing
work.
With this is,
I will not allow it to happen, though, because I'm going to lock him in every bloody time now, unless he goes to Brazil.
Barry Bannon low scoring against Derby. I thought, and before this game, Josh got his 100th career goal at Preston. Then at this game, he got his 50th goal for the club, which is the 3rd player to do it this century. Name the other 2. Goal.
There were certain people on the internet also not really understanding how football works, clearly, because do you know, right, how difficult, especially because he didn't have that much of a run-up at it, right, how skilled it is, like, anyone can kick it far. Do you know how far he bloody kicked that?
Yep. 60
to get it
yards.
into the goal from that distance, the power that was in that shot is insane.
There was some
like a lot of people are saying actually in the comments to that, have you tried playing Sunday League football? Goalkeepers can't kick it over halfway half the time.
Yeah. I think it's really funny watching that. But what really is annoying me, Josh Windass goal was really good and it should be spoke about. Kusama's flick to set himself up was incredible.
Yeah, what a player. What a player.
Flick, he going, if we do it right, he'll be the player that helped fund the transfer season in one of them because he'll go for big money, or we'll be stupid and let him go for nothing at the end of the contract because he's improving so much. Masaba did well, but again, they came into being our number one flaw at the minute. We can't keep clean sheets. And people have turned around and I've seen people turn around and said, this is a James Beadle problem. No, it's not. James Beadle has kept us in more games than we should count of. It's more of a defensive back line that is just not concentrating. I think there've been games where Beadle saved us from not being battered.
Yeah, I was just thinking there because there's one about Beadle that I want to talk about in the game that's just gone. But other than in that game, I wouldn't really blame him. This is the kind of thing you need to do, though. Outscore your opponent in these situations, and we were miles better than Derby, Jake.
Yeah,
we just were. Good. We outclassed them. Bannon really gave it some after his goal, after how they treated him last time out. And good. It was great to watch. I really enjoyed that game.
It was nice to see Masaba on the score sheet again as well. Because I think his confidence was
He started to look all right in the past couple of games. A little bit more switched on. He's thinking about his play a bit more.
I tell you who's really impressed me when he's been coming on and playing is Ingelsson. Ingelsson has been so calm on the ball. I love that he's not scared to just go in and knock someone over. He's like a Patterson but younger. Yeah. And it feels like you've got that kind of player, and Ingelson's really impressed me. But you go on to the game we just had.
We'll do this the normal thing then, Jake. So a game that might feel like a loss. Talk me through Sheffield Wednesday 2, Millwall 2.
We started so well. We played really well. And Valerie's goal was really good, by the way. Yeah. It was a really well hit shot.
You don't expect it, do you, from a fullback? The power and the precision. I was like, he might not. You can say he might not. It's a hit and hope in a way, but it's amazing. Fantastic goal.
And I thought the celebration was quite interesting as well.
Guess who's got Valerie in the draft?
Jack.
Yeah. 2 goals as well.
I thought his celebration was good in one sense because there's been a lot said about him and stuff, and I think it's the way he's shutting up. And we should have had a lot more in this game. We were very good in that first half. Ubbo had an excellent chance to make it 2-0. And then you go on to the penalty situation, right? I have seen so many people saying we shouldn't be letting him take it. I get why Windass gave him the ball. I understand it. It's trying to get you one of your teammates and one of your mates a bit of confidence.
You're 1-0 up as well.
And you're 1-0 up. The problem is, with him missing it, it probably dented his confidence even more. But absolutely. I get why they tried it. But the thing that got me was not the online reaction, because I thought the online reaction was ridiculous, but the reaction in the stadium was fantastic. Even though he missed it, they were still chanting his name. And the photograph that I got that from the start, which I love, is Bannon, Valerie, Windass, Ubbo, all pulling him up, going, come on, carry on. And as he was going off, people having a pep talk with him. He came out in the second half, and I think he played well. The thing is, Ubbo is playing well. He just hasn't got a goal. His link-up play is there. Everything else, apart from a goal, is there. But he's just not got that confidence in front of the net.
It's valid for people to say, well, we don't pay £3 million for a player that just to play well that doesn't score goals when they were signed to score goals. However, most of the people in that situation say it's criminal. He's getting in above Lowe and Smith and things like that. And I'm like, well, for one, he's not technically getting in above Smith usually. He plays off Smith when he plays. Lowe, again, I think he's a good player.
I don't think he's a striker. I think he's a winger.
I prefer Ugbo in the side. We play better as a team, in my opinion, with Ugbo up top. And he's not scoring the goals, but the team just works better.
Yeah.
And it is one of those things with Ugbo, it will come. Now, our man Jack got a lot of stick. Something he was going to put out on the Twitter, the Talking Wednesday Twitter, which I would have loved to see all the bloody notifications. I think it had 600 likes and 100 comments or whatever it had. I would have been like, what have you done?
I think he said it got 34,000 impressions.
Yes. He basically called the fans out, okay? Which I will say is not something we have ever endorsed on Talking Wednesday. So if we're ever calling the fans out on that Twitter, you know who it is. But this is case in point of it.
I do call out, but I don't call it out on Twitter because I'm not.
No, we don't put it on the we don't put it Talking Wednesday forward unless it's me. Sometimes, but I don't fair, I don't have a pop. I've been burnt
too many times with Twitter football, and I know what it's like.
Exactly.
But
I do understand what he was saying about supporting Ugbo, but I also will say that he was very supported in the stadium, Jake. And that's the crucial side of it.
He was very supported. Online, he wasn't. This is the thing. You look at online, he looked like he robbed your nan and left her in the snow. Where in the stadium, they absolutely... I did a proper Mark Goldberg there, didn't I? In the stadium, they absolutely backed him and chanted him and made him feel like... Even when he came off, they were standing up and
standing ovation.
That's the word. To show that we get it, we understand it. Because the thing is, if Baz missed that penalty, it's the same reaction online. If Windaf missed that penalty, it's the same reaction. Remember,
it was
Windaf missed his last penalty.
Yeah, and they literally said to Windass, why is he taking penalties? We've got Smith in the blah, 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 all of that.
Yeah.
So, and I also said that, by the way, because Smith was on the pitch and he should have taken the penalty.
Yeah. Valerie, for me, one of the things I saw went at a hard time with Valerie talking to Windass about it. And you could see Windass was a bit annoyed. But I think Valerie was trying to just go, we tried to help him. It's happened. Don't go in on him. And I don't think Windass is one that would go in off it. He gets it. He understands it. He missed the penalty season.
No, I think he's fiery, though. I think he says things off the cuff.
But you know what the thing is that's really annoying? We scored one penalty after 74 games of not having one, and now we've missed two.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such a Wednesday thing
It's a draw that felt like a loss. Obviously, Oteg Bayo getting us, because they went 2-1 up with it all. Goals, their second goal is where I will say Beadle should have got a better hand to it. He sees it late, but
he goes down too early.
Could be saved.
Yeah, he goes. And the first one, Windass goes to try and hit it on the break again, like he did versus Sunderland. He tried to kick it forward and he's not managed to get the touch. And
the first one's hard, though. I will say that's quite hard to defend because that's just a lump ball forward. And that, yes, you shouldn't let your man through there. And maybe it's questioning the defenders there, the positioning, the fact that they've let the defence be split there. But I can understand the first one. The second one is a bit of a hit and hope, and Beadle should have saved it. And then you're looking like we're going to come home empty-handed sort of thing.
Can we talk about, before we get on to that goal?
I said come home, we're at home.
We're missing an elephant in the room.
Go on.
Iorfa goes off injured, and so does Valerie. Iorfa hamstring, Valerie looked like it groin. We rested Johnson in the game, which I think was the right thing to do because I think he looked absolutely shattered over the last couple of games. Remember, when Johnson and Matlow came in, they were meant to be rotated, not played week in and week out. And because of our injury situation at the minute, Matlow is having to play. Now, Matlow, I think, has been absolutely fantastic since he come in. He really turned into a steady Eddie and played some good football. But the fact that a young 19-year-old kid had come on and had the calmness to take that goal. But what I loved wasn't the fact that I loved that he got the goal, but it's the way he celebrated. It was the fans were expecting him to go to the cop. And he literally went, no, we're going back. We're not celebrating. This ain't done.
I love that. That's mentality for me. That's your first goal for the club, you know. And you're like, no, because
you expect them to go mental.
It shows, but
Maturity.
You know, in a weird way, that shows the expectations that they know the expectation. You know, we talk about these players don't know what it means. Clearly, our young player does here because we won't accept that we should have beaten Millwall, right? We should have beaten them. And actually getting the equaliser is the least sort of acceptable margin in that game for me because we should have beaten them the way we were playing. We should have got all 3 points. The amount of times we hit the bar.
Oh, yeah, 3 times. Yeah, really good chances as well. And the other thing is that I got really worried about this game because Millwall were coming into this with new manager bound trying because Neil Harris got left the club at Millwall. Alex Neil came in, and the last time they had a new manager bounce, they won 4-0. And I was like, oh, no, it's not going to happen again. But it was interesting with Autobio, with what he said in his presser at the end. He was like, I'm a leader, I communicate, I'm quite shy off the pitch, but on the pitch. And you know what? We miss a leader and a communicator. And if it's a 19-year-old kid doing it, I don't care. Just let him cook because he looks like he knows what he's doing.
Sorry, are you from TikTok?
I don't care anymore. He looks like he knows what he's doing. And that's important. Granted, I know it's only 2 games he's really properly come on. But if that's what he's saying in a presser, what is the one thing we lack at the back? They don't talk and there's no leader.
He might have to play now as well because if we have got injuries, it's a case of... And I'm not uncomfortable with that. I think the fans need to get around him, obviously. He's at an age where he will make mistakes as well, so we can't be... The one thing that I hate is a young player like that makes a mistake and our fan base are one of the first to turn and go, he's no good. He shouldn't be in this squad, blah, 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 blah. No, young players, he will make mistakes.
If you look...
He could be fantastic as well.
Right now, it's Palmer, fullback, Matt Lowe, fullback, Bernard, Iorfa out, maybe, we don't know. Valentine, who's been brilliant. A Whitway, who's been ill. Femowo, who's out injured. And Valerie is... Femowo, even. And Valerie...
Is it Femeo by any chance?
Yeah, that one. Sorry, I got a bit... as I was reading the name, I literally just saw it came up with like Leeds United tickets. I can't remember if you were going to Ellen Road this time round.
Not from here, no. I'm streaming it.
But, oh yeah, you sent me the list. But the thing is, we don't have enough cover at the back. And it's been the issue all season.
It's almost as if on deadline day in summer said we needed a centre-back. Didn't bring one in.
It's almost like we were linked with one and he went to West Brom.
Yep. Not ideal.
And no. I will say something. Since Danny's been in, it's the best we've looked at looking after players.
Yeah. It's because he's a proper manager. And I'll be honest, the more we get through this podcast, the more I'm concerned that we're going to lose a proper manager. And I know
same.
Quite a bit of hyperbole in there, but when you see things stacking up, we're recording this on the 6th of January right now, and I thought the wheels would have been moving by now. They definitely should have been, but it's almost as if we're settling for where we are, and I don't think our manager's ambition is going to stand for that in the future. But anyway, we'll get to that. Let's do the review of the games. We're not going to do them all. Jesus Christ, Jake, you've copied and pasted a lot here. Let's do the most recent ones. So Blackburn 0, Burnley 1, Swansea 1, West Brom 1, Stoke 0, Plymouth 0, Watford 1, Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Millwall 2, Bristol City 1, Derby County 0, Hull City 3, Leeds United 3.
Dear Leeds United, please don't buy a new keeper. He's naff. Keep him, he's brilliant. He's the best keeper in the world even.
God, we'll end up buying him or something, knowing us. Norwich 2, Coventry 1, Preston 1, Oxford 1, Middlesbrough 1, Cardiff 1. Lots of draws in the Championship this last game day. And that leaves the table as follows. Leeds United are at the top with 53 points, so you'd think they're safe. They've gone past the 50-point mark. As of Burnley, who are second with 52. Sheffield United are third with 52. The playoffs sit with West Brom on 40 points. Behind them with 39 points in 7th are Blackburn. Then joint 37 points. Bristol City, Watford and Sheffield Wednesday occupying 8th, 9th and 10th.
We are
10th. But is that where we are ambitious to be. Wayne Rooney has left Plymouth Argyle over the period where we were away.
I was about to say, Plymouth, you get your name back. You're not Wayne Rooney, Plymouth Argyle anymore.
Exactly. You get your name back and you get your League One status back. It's Plymouth on 20 points at the bottom of the league. Cardiff on 23. Hull City on 23. And then Portsmouth are joint on 23 there. However, they've got 3 games in hand, so you'd think they'd be able to claw themselves out of the danger there.
I think my biggest worry looking at this table is we could plateau if we're not careful.
We could. And you don't want to start looking at it as like 14 points from safety, do you?
No. And the thing is, for me, I love that Danny keeps saying in press conference, let's get to 50 points and then let's talk. He keeps turning around and said, let's get to 50 points. We're not that far away. A couple of wins, we're there. And then we can say, we are a better second half team than we are a first half team.
4 wins would put us over. Yeah.
Yeah. But we got to get whatever's going on, and we'll speak about it later, sorted.
I'm lying. I can't do maths. 5 wins. 4 wins and a draw would put us there.
But my biggest worry is when we come to do a podcast on the 18th of January, are we talking about something that's gone wrong at the fan forum and it's all gone to pot?
Possibly. I was very tempted to go. I can't because I'm working until late that day. But it's interesting. We also released the accounts, which we will do a Talking Wednesday extra on. But
they are better.
The losses are a little bit more, but that's because of wages increases and promotion bonuses. But it seems like we're stabilising as a club. The big takeaways are, yes, we owe a lot of money to Chansiri. That is not uncommon for an owner in football clubs. He's taking the debt amongst himself. It's not actually, we are well in profit and sustainability.
Can I actually say what the biggest thing is, which I didn't know was? With the positives are that the record reviewed in the history, Sheffield Wednesday. I went back through the history books and revenue beats anything achieved in the Premier League days. That's insane.
It's insane considering, when you just look where football's gone then, if we're in this. Yeah. I'm going to skip a few stories and then come back to them because we've been alluding to this. So this is from the Star. Yeah. Sheffield Wednesday not in contact with clubs over transfer deals. Danny Rull invites fans forum questions. Nearly a week into the January transfer window, Sheffield Wednesday are not in any contact with other clubs in regard to potential additions, Owls boss Danny Rull has told the Star. Speaking 4 days into the winter transfer window, the Wednesday manager made the admission following a late December press conference in which he made public he and the Owls chairman, Deshvan Chansiri, were yet to discuss the scope for January activity. Those discussions are yet to take place. Speaking to the Star after the Millwall match, Rull was asked if the club were in contact with any clubs with regard to any potential incoming deals for new players. Quote, he said, at the moment, no. At the moment, we have our list. We look and then we see what we can do. We need a clear picture of what we can do and which players we want to attack. Rull said when asked what needs to happen for things to get moving, quote, we have 26 days until the end of January. If we can sign players early, if we want to sign players early, this is of course helpful because we have 3 more games this window. Some players have signed, I don't know if this is a misquote in the actual article, but it says some players. Some teams have signed players straight away.
Yeah.
We will try. In the next 15 days, it will be time for a review. We can make a summary in a few days. The fans can ask a lot of questions if they want. End quote. Right. Here's the thing. I think it's good journalism. I think it's Beatty journalism, and it's accurate what he said there. And I think Alex Miller's tweets have more alluded to what he doesn't actually say in the article.
No.
Danny does not specifically say that you can talk about everything at the fans forum, right?
Yeah.
Looking at this, okay? He literally doesn't say that. And again, it's the broken English thing as well. Do you know what I mean? It's the thing where it's like, he doesn't specifically say, ask Chansiri about the transfers at the fans forum. He says the fans can ask a lot of questions. He doesn't and he says in the next 15 days it will be time for a review.
You can ask a lot of questions. Yeah. Here's the thing. Also, though, as well, when we had the Preston game where they were saying about it, Alex said there may not be a case where transfers haven't been discussed. Transfers will have been discussed. It's just that final link up to say, yeah, no, they've had things. Because if you remember back in October, the Star in the press conference said, Danny turned around and said, me and Chansiri and Kevin Beadle have been setting a plan forward ready for October so we can attack October. We've already started the plan for January. That's what he said. So the plan's there. I think it's that last little bit of communication to say, what are we doing? Then instead of what can we do? Because the thing is, Danny, I get the feeling that Danny wanted to have it that he got January the 1st and everything was lined up. We got players in. You get to after the Coventry game, and if something pops up in between then and Leeds, you make a deal. It's done. Now, I think
he wanted to have the early loan signings, which we are seeing, the recalls and the loans back out in the Championship. I think he wanted that done this week. We are now on the 6th of January as we record this, and there's nothing that has happened. Now, bringing on to the speculation there, from what I've heard and from what I could see into, and I read into the articles and I read into Danny and all of this, I tweeted, we had a bit of a disagreement on Twitter.
Yeah,
there we go. We can disagree. I put, growing increasingly concerned, Danny isn't being backed and we're heading through the same as per. You replied, we will wait and see, but asking if he's not been back when he got the summer window of players playing like mid-table. But no, it's been like a relegation battle again. Last January, we didn't get a player until 10th of Jan, did not know the window shuts together. Tomorrow. First of all, clause.
Yeah.
So, but you weren't the only person. I've got somebody else. He was backed in the summer and we're only 4 days into the window. Let's see what happens. He has been backed. How do you know he won't be backed further? It's literally...
I sound like a happy clapper.
And then some people are saying Chansiri needs to do one, etc. However, I will also say I never said he hasn't been backed. I said he isn't being backed. I am growing increasingly concerned that he isn't being backed. We have seen situations where the manager hasn't been backed.
Yes, we have seen it for, i.e. the season we got promoted. We need a player, we didn't get him. Chansiri does have a habit of doing this stupid, I've given you all I gave you in the summer, why do you want players now? Now, the old added where the money coming from, according to the counts, we got a fair bit of cash we could spend in terms of room for FFP. I think it's about 14 million. But you don't want to spend all that. I think the issue is, and this is where Danny got to be careful as well, because coming out and slating Chansiri, when we know what Chansiri's record is like of being pushed by people, is not a good idea.
I don't think Danny's got anything to lose, Jake, if I'm being brutally honest. And this is where my worry comes in.
I don't think he's got anything to lose.
I think he knows that if he's not backed this window, and I feel like he wants to be back because he wants to have the resources at this club, he wants to have that loyalty. But Danny equally knows that if he's not backed, he will not be short of a job come the summer if he wants to move. And this is what I'm saying. If Chansiri isn't backing it, I'm not saying loads of money, but I'm saying he should be in. For one, I don't know if he's in the country or not at the minute, but he probably should be.
Yet.
Yeah, he should be in this window backing his manager. But I worry that he is taking time signing off on things late because he's out of the country or whatever it is, which sometimes happens, you know, when owners are fought. You think about all the boxes they need to tick.
You look at all the stuff we did when we were having to go through the EFL point deduction. Yep. And if you actually look at all the evidence that got published, there were so many emails that said urgent, and it took him like 5 days to 6 days to reply.
Yeah. And if it's not happening straight away, these players go, right?
Yeah.
So I can see a manager getting increasingly frustrated, and it's more of a case of there needs to be that project here. What I was about to say in terms of worry, I worry Chansiri looks where we are, knows Danny will probably, he might even have an outside chance of the playoffs with the players we've currently got, which I disagree with.
I don't need to put anything.
I don't need to, I need a couple on deadline day. That'll be enough. We'll reach the playoffs.
No. That's
my worry. And that's the worry that I've got where it comes back to Chansiri thinking Darren Moore's going to take us straight to the playoffs when we came up. Do you know what I mean? And that's where my worry is coming in terms of, yes, he was backed in the summer, But you don't just back a manager once. Even great managers, right? Not every player they bring in is going to hit the ground running. He backed him with Ugbo, who was a bloody good educated guest last season, by the way, because he did really, really well for us. He's not firing. So what do you do as an owner? You can't just say, oh, well, I did that. It's an individual player. He's like, I backed you with Ugbo. We can't do that. It's not worked currently. It's not working. It's not the manager's fault because Ugbo is in the right positions. He's not just finishing his dinner. He needs to support him further.
Also, you won't like this, and it's a Jack was right thing, so be prepared. Pervader's injured again. He was about to come back for Sunderland and he got another injury. So he dodged the bullet there. The thing
Broken clock's right twice a day.
If you remember do you remember the last manager to criticise Chancery?
Tony Pulis?
Yep, and that didn't end well, did it?
No, but he was awful.
Yeah.
I was actually on Chancery's side there.
The thing is, I get what Danny's doing, and I get what he's trying to do. Just be very careful. And people know in football that we're not the best run club, and a lot of people don't like dealing with Chancery. We all know why. But Danny got to also realise some owners will watch and see how he spoke about Chancery to media and go, I don't really want you digging me out here. It could be a bad idea in the long term of the career. I don't think it'll cause too many issues, but in certain European honestly, Jake, leagues, it could go wrong.
I don't agree in that, and I get what you're saying. Other clubs maybe, but I think it's notorious that Sheffield Wednesday have an owner that's a little bit difficult to deal with. So Danny actually saying that, I don't think it'll affect his career at all, because there's a history of it now. There's a history of interesting decisions coming out of Sheffield Wednesday under this ownership. And I think that was highlighted with the Darren Moore situation. And it was very much cast into the mainstream media. So I think clubs looking at that as a bigger picture and owners looking at that as big as the bigger picture will think, well, we're not like that. We're going to take this manager on sort of thing. And for example, here's a hypothetical. Danny doesn't get backed. I think Danny has got some loyalty in him. He'd obviously see out the season.
I think he sees that season,
I reckon Southampton come down next year. They decide to part ways with their manager. Danny goes there as a project because they'll back him in the Championship and he'll win the league with him.
Or, which is possibly, and with the way they play, it would be good. And I think that's something you can see happening. Or say if Southampton's come down and you know what the Prem's like for changing managers at the end of a season, maybe someone goes at a Prem job and he gets the opportunity there. And he gets
maybe,
doing
but
the Championship
I think
he'd
take the reason I'm saying the Southampton one is a shout is he has a year then in a good side to put his identity into the side and get them on board
to help and get them where they need to be. I think the issue is for me is it puts us back into that position of then going to having to reset again, and it feels like with this club we reset every 3 years. And we have our one appointment that doesn't work. It goes a bit dodgy. Then we have a bit of a worry about being a yo-yo side between League One and Championship, where this is probably the best chance we're going to have to do it without spending a huge amount. We're not asking for like 10, 20 million be spent. You're probably asking for about 2, maybe 5 million to help with some loan fees and maybe get a quality striker in on loan. The thing is,
we probably spent about, at our club's level, we probably spent about 5 or 6 in the summer, maybe, right?
Yeah.
If we think about it. I think that, and then 3 in January is what is the minimum for a club that wants to push on little by little, right?
If Chancery can do what he did last January with getting players that are impact and they come in and they do a job, fantastic. Great. But it needs to be done now. It needs to be done before the Coventry game and before the league game. I don't want to be sat here, and I know we're going to be, doing a deadline day going, are we done? Are we going to do something? Then suddenly get, we signed a Buckley or a Pervader at like 11 o'clock at night. The gaffer looks absolutely shattered because he wanted everyone in, and we've only got them in last minute because Chancery realised he needs to put his hand in his pocket and get someone. There is a list that is already there and planned and sorted. And if they're not talking or communicating, someone needs to help and get that sorted. If I'm Danny, if you know what plane he's coming in on, you're picking him up from the airport and going, right, you're sitting in the back and I'm telling you what I want.
Yeah. Do you know what's mental? And I'm not saying do this, Chansiri. Don't even be bloody tempted. But you know if he was old Chansiri, right?
Yeah.
And he did what he did and he took like 15, 20 million at it, like he did in the initial days, right?
Yeah.
In this one window. We have a better chance of going up now than we did then.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
So.
Because then the club's dead if it goes wrong. But
I've got the thing because I think it's 19th of January, it'll be 10 years of Chansiri. And I got the thing, I've fought this for the last 2-3 years that he took us as far as he can take us.
Yeah.
And the problem is, if he doesn't think that, or if he doesn't think that, there's no harm in going, let's get some investment, let's get some proper sponsorships in on the show.
Well, I'm telling you, as fans of the club, we are now expecting more investment.
Yeah.
We are expecting, because we know you've got a lot of debt against the club's got a lot of debt against yourself, but that's what owners do in this league. And it's not, he will come out and be very, I don't want to use the word righteous, but he will very much tell us how much he's taken on for the club. But all the other clubs are doing that as well. And that's also part of being the owner.
Also, I will say there's a lot of people saying Chansiri got a lot of to be doing a fan forum. Please remember the fan forums are mandatory by the EFL. So are engagements panels. No owner wants to do a fan forum. No owner wants to do an engagements panel unless they are really good with their fan base. A lot of them do it because they have to. And the thing is, if you are going to this fan forum, take a sleeping bag. It will be a 6-hour long thing.
Yeah, that's going to be. Can I also say, I kind of want to say this. I don't think we will, but we do sometimes get the odd idiot. No personal attacks, please, from our fan base. Be better.
Because if you do that, we are definitely not spending any money.
But it's not that. No personal attacks, and obviously nothing stupid in what I'm saying. I don't even need to say it, do I? But
no.
The reason I say that is if you have got a point and you are very dissatisfied, the moment you start getting heated, like overly heated, you can be a bit heated, but personal or things like that, the moment you start buying into that, the more you just look like a crazed fan and your opinion will lose validity. However valid it is in the first place, if you start throwing personal jibes, start talking about him himself, etc., it will just go one way. I don't want it to become that because I want the people who have got the voice that are very dissatisfied to put him on the spot. And if he doesn't answer it, he looks worse.
Yeah. I thought the way someone put the idea of like a compare asking questions was a good way. The thing is, I've never thought a fan forum for Chansiri especially is a good idea because English is not his first language and everything gets very complicated because he sometimes doesn't get the question or get a thing. Either have an interpreter or have an actual compare where the questions have been submitted. And even if it's we got a list of 100, 200 questions and they're submitted and they get answered. I just think the idea of how this will go, it won't be good because you got to remember this is with senior management as well. It's not just Chansiri. Just don't give him any more ammo to attack fans again.
Yeah, pretty much. We will keep you updated on everything with that. So let's carry on into the news. We're going to talk about a bit of happy contract news. Fusire has signed a new contract, so that came a bit out of the blue, but tying our youngsters down is a good move there. He's also getting some interest from some League 2 clubs, so he might be out on loan, which I think would be very good for him. Tying down players, sending them on loan is what we want to see. And then we're going to get into the other situation.
It wouldn't be a transfer window without a Josh Windass story.
It wouldn't. I've heard 10 million. I've heard 5 million. I've heard 3 million.
I've heard 500K.
I've heard lots of different things. I've heard that he's going on a free, and then I've heard he's not going on a free, and I've heard he's got 6 months left, and then I've heard he's got 18 months left.
The thing is, the way they worded it, like from Brazil, they've gone like pre-contract. And I'm like, okay, if it's pre-contract, he can only go until the deal's done. So why are you putting a bid in?
So this is what's happened. This is from the Star. Josh Windass makes Sheffield Wednesday contract suggestion when asked about Santos' interest. Josh Windass has spoken about the reports of an attempt of Brazilian side Santos to steal him away from Sheffield Wednesday. The inform attacker is reportedly the subject of a bid from the Brazilian Giants, who were promoted after a fall from grace slip into the second tier back in November. Santos are managed by Windass's former Rangers boss, Pedro Caixinha, who previously launched bids to take him to South America when manager of the Argentinian outfit of Talares back in the summer of 2022. Sorry, what did you say?
That bit's important.
That is
that
important.
Little section is very important when we go on to talk about it.
Speaking as a guest on TalkSport on Sunday morning, the 30-year-old was asked about the Santos bid and made a suggestion on the status of his contract, which was signed ahead of the new season in summer. Contract lengths aren't routinely disclosed by Wednesday. Quote, I used to work with him, Windass said, on Caixinha. It came as a surprise this morning, to be honest, when my agent called me, but I love playing where I'm playing. Obviously, when your contract is up where you are, there's going to be talk like there always is. It came as a surprise, but this morning, because I've obviously not spoken to Pedro for a long time, but it is what it is. When you're informed, these things are going to happen. The form of Windass, end quote. The form of Windass has been a key factor, blah, blah, blah. Quote, when I was a kid, it was a dream to just play for a professional football club, but I feel honoured to have played for Rangers in a club like Sheffield Wednesday, he said. It's obviously pressure to play week in, week out, and I feel like since I've been here, it's been difficult in terms of the club and the managers we've had, but now I feel like we've got one of the best managers in the game. I'm learning a lot and I'm doing really, really well. Like any team, the better players you have, the better chance you've got. We're 3 points off the playoffs now, and obviously any little help you can do, any little help you can get always helps. In this league, there isn't much to separate the top 8, so I think we've got a good chance, and when you've got the manager, we've got anything is possible. So it's reported that we've rejected the bid.
Yes.
Now, obviously, when he talks about his contract there, I think his contract might be up in 6 months, but I think we've got an option. I think that's where that's coming about.
I think it's a 1-on-1. I think it's a 1 plus a 1 because I don't see Wednesday giving him only a 1-year deal when he had a West Brom deal, which was 2 years guaranteed. That makes no sense.
I don't think they can make contact while we've got an option, unless they try and put a contract on front of his table. I think that might pressure us into a triggering. It could be the agent pressuring us into triggering the extension as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It could be the agent going, we'll get your contract sorted now, Josh. You're here for another year. Done. The other thing I don't see it is, and you know me, I like to go down the what's going on. He just recently got married and he's got a very young kid.
Yeah.
That's a big move for a very young family.
Yeah, someone was going, who would want him? Who wouldn't want to go out there? All the women, all this, and all this. And I was like, well, he's just married and he's had a newborn. So
yeah,
probably that would have something to do with it.
Also, it's very, the agent group that he's represented, they are very big in South America. They've got a lot of clients over there. That's something else to be thinking.
Do you know what, Josh Windass ain't going anywhere, right? Sorry, Josh, if you're watching. I know you're not going anywhere because it doesn't make sense for you to go anywhere under Danny Rull at the minute. Maybe when your contract's... Josh Windass has the MLS when his contract's up written all over it.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
That'll be the go and try something different thing.
That move makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And some people will be...
He's a player that can get you off your seat. He's a player that I think could do really, really well over there. I think when he starts to feel like his legs might have properly gone, he'll think, right, I've got a couple more years of my legs here where I can impress some people over there. I think Josh Windass makes a lot of sense for that move. This move, it links because of the Santos manager link.
I have another thing to your MLS. His wife is American.
There you go. This doesn't make sense now.
No.
And also, if they come in for him, we will just... I reckon it's an extension trigger, and we'll just do that because I don't think he's going anywhere. Yes, Santos fans, you're going to start on us in the comments. I can see it coming, right? Because apparently there's been a lot of that recently.
They already have.
I'm not saying that he shouldn't play for your team, and I'm not saying anything against your team. I'm saying from a Sheffield Wednesday perspective, I'd be surprised if it happened. But if it does happen, it's a very odd one. And you've got a good player on your hands if it does happen. It's not like I'd be salty if it did happen. because there's a fee involved. If you're offering us 10 million now, I do take that.
It. If you gave us 10 million now, we'd probably take it because that can fund our entire transfer window.
But it doesn't make sense for the player.
It wouldn't make sense for the player, and Danny probably would hate it because he lost his top goal scorer.
Yep. And that'd be like, unless literally we could promise Danny a replacement that's got potential in the future.
Yeah.
Not even but like the similar sort of player that's got potential. No, I think it'd be a nail in the coffin for Danny there as well in terms of staying on at this football club. So there's a lot of things that make me think that won't happen, but let us know what you think about that one in the comments.
I have a theory of, if when Barry does go, if Josh is still here, he's future captain.
Potentially. That could be it, yeah. Right, Jake, that was a good one. We've got Coventry up next in the Cup, which I think you should be able to cover if they're doing something weird with the coverage, aren't they? So you should be able to cover it. I think.
Yeah, I believe it's a American game that they're doing. I think it's on American TV, so I should be able to cover it one way or another.
He's going to fly to America, is what he's going to do.
Yeah, and fly back. Oh, no, that's the funny thing about the Santos thing. You just reminded me, thank you. So, it was Saturday night when the talk about the Santos came out, right? And there was a comment going, I've just met Josh Windass in Brazil. I was like, have you really? Really?
Yeah, with our fixtures, he's really just gone off to Brazil, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, Coventry in the Cup, I'm not bothered, Jake. I don't even want to talk about it. If we go out of the Cup, cool. Like, I know that's not very professional. We're not a professional podcast.
It's a cup game.
I'm tired of playing Coventry.
Great. If we get a cup run, great. It's good for adding a bit more money. If we go out, we concentrate on league. I think the next game after that is the most important one, which is Leeds.
And you'll see us before that because it's on the 19th. So,
yeah.
8 days between those fixtures. Interesting little gap there. But obviously no midweek fixture.
That is actually good because we need a break and we need a week where it's back to back. Get a week of training in all the players and find out what's going.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's been fun for episode 200. A lot of little bit of drama in there. Oh God, the episode 200 of our podcast is just going to be full of Santos fans insulting us, isn't it? Yeah, probably.
Pretty much.
Cool, but have you got anything to add before we wrap up today, mate?
Happy New Year to you all. Hope we have a good 2025. We will keep the podcast going and we'll just keep it rolling as we do and try and get to 250. But at the end of the day, Wednesday is a roller coaster ride. We all knew this when we started supporting them. It's not easy being a Wednesday fan because there's always something. But enjoy it while it's here, and we'll just have to see what happens if anything does happen.
Exactly. Take care of yourselves, guys. Happy New Year, and we will see you in the next episode of Talking Wednesday.
See ya.